I am supposed to do other things too, and one of them is change my appearance. It keeps coming to my mind, but then I right away um, come back to my video machine here because I realize what is more important. What I have to say online can possibly most likely be more important because I find it very hard to stop. My thoughts I was talking about before and how important they are for my own mind, body, and remission, meaning like the things I do thereafter a thought comes to mind, I can pursue with the thought and take it where it needs to go or where I want to put it. I can just put it off and start something else. We all know what I'm talking about. The point that I'm making is how important was that thought or unimportant. So, nevertheless, the looks, always wanting to change that, never having enough time to do it. And so, what I have enough time I'm taking to tell you that every time I think of you as one man not buying my kingdom of heaven, I'm telling you what I believe is the truth from Kathleen Krasovich, but really it comes from the Almighty Father's throne, I think, because it's a very wise. Do unto others, says the Bible in one of the biggest rules other than love everybody, and do unto others in a loving way, in a kind way, and in a respectful way. If you had Jesus's throne as a business, how would you expect other people to respect what you have then? If you're a believer in God and you personally were the Son of God, or at the very least, I'm trying to put you in my shoes of Kathleen. Here I am claiming and pronouncing to be collecting for God's holy throne and his Son, Jesus Christ, to rule the world if he's who you believe in as a savior, and I'm trying to guide you to his throne, and I'm asking you, are you believing in God enough to invest in his throne as a believer? You already, as a very strong believer, I'm guessing I would have thought, I would have said, oh, for God's sake, are you kidding? I mean, there's not a day out of my life that I did not think of Jesus or like pray to Jesus, let alone think of Jesus and God as that being. And so, even as busy as I've always been, especially over my like more what's the word when you get mature? My older, smarter years of how I'm learning a lot more than I was a restless child and maybe just not wise as I am now. Gained experience, gained love. I gained authority and self-esteem in my life, control over what I have. So again, to the plot of this conversation that we're having, what would you expect people to do if you were proclaiming his throne for sale and you were handing the Father full control over your life in as much as you possibly can understand? I always say, I'm doing unto the Father and saying, the devil or your enemy or even the evil men in this world shall never enter your kingdom, holy God. I will be at your gates telling them they're not allowed. Ha ha ha! Yes! Look at this big smile, says Kathleen. You, as a bully and a thief, are not allowed behind my Father's door. It's his house, and he protects it with me as his son and master and caretaker. You are not allowed. You are a trespasser over God's creation, and this world is hell outside his doors, I'm telling you. Why? Because we're always confronting with a thief or a murderer or even a hater and someone who is very ignorant and stubbornly disrespectful. And so these are the kind of people who live around the world, and they say they're okay and it's okay to be that way, but it is not. It's not okay with God, and you will not be allowed into his kingdom of heaven with disobedience of any sort. Is not right. But especially if you have not paid, you will never enter his gates. I'm telling you with common sense from Kathleen, his only begotten member, and really, when it comes down to it, I would not allow it even in my own house, and I hear people say it all the time about how they feel. Nobody out of line is welcome, really. They want good standings. They want peace created, not the other bad news of trouble coming. So the same big smile comes across my face, and I start thinking the most important thing is not doing a new hairdo for Kathleen, but it's telling the world the good news, because I know nobody else is doing it the way I am. There may be a preacher, pastor, priest, and bishop and friendly neighborhood believers that will tell you about Jesus, but they will not be able to save you, because I'm also praying unto the Holy Father that he makes me know exactly what I can or cannot do to please him the most. Doing unto the Father and worshiping his throne is what I like doing, because I feel safe, even though the enemy is not buying his kingdom of heaven. There's reasons for that, and I'll let them have it. There's reasons why I can't sign you into God's kingdom of heaven, is because you're disobedient and refusing to believe in the Holy Father, by which you have to believe in God, and you have to honor his Son in rule to be able to be saved. Very easy to repeat this common sense and understand it first. So the doing unto others is a very big policy of the Bible. We must do unto God first of all, and then we can follow forth to man of all kinds. And so really loving your enemies is a big part of biblical teaching, by which you always have to constantly forgive. And so if you're not buying, I'll just repeat again, you will not enter his holy gates. You will not be allowed to take living part in what his entitlement offers, because he's got rules in the way to create this and in the ways of composing it. You have to work along with him. You have to be workable. You have to honor him first, and you have to obey him through his Son. Goodbye for now. I'll be back